Hey folks, welcome back. Last Friday, Amplitude Studios just released a beta patch called Dante for Humankind, kind of by surprise, and it's made one major change to the game, which is that military units now require food upkeep. We'll talk a little bit more about the potential implications of that, but we're going to be experimenting a little bit with the new beta branch. That is the only change that I'm aware of. Maybe there's something else, but we'll see how it impacts the rest of the game. I've input some of my custom personas here since I'm kind of used to playing against them now. I have turned off exclusive cultures. I normally play with it on because I think that is how the game should be played most of the time. But in this case, I think we want the flexibility to see how the changes are going to affect different cultures without kind of like the time pressure of needing to select them. So we have gone for our typical world setting of large and two continents. I want the most standard game possible to try to experiment with this. So I have turned on regular continent shape, spread, and form. So this will be pretty standard map generation. So that being said, let's get into it and take a look at some of the changes. All right, here's our starting location, and we are pretty far north, so we might head south to begin with. Don't see any pickups, so let's just follow this river for now and see what comes up. Nice little 15 food on the first turn there. Also some dye and some papyrus in this territory. Pretty decent starting location, actually. Maybe we'll get lucky and find another bit of food. There we go. So this is going to make our opening few turns really nice and easy here. I also saw a curiosity spawn up here, so we'll go ahead and grab that. So this change to food is really interesting. I don't think anyone really anticipated this change happening. It kind of seems to have come out of nowhere. And it does fundamentally alter the game depending on how exactly it is implemented. I haven't played at all yet, so this will be my first time looking at it. Let's see, I probably do want an outpost around here. That's actually not a bad spot up there. Let's take a look at the terrain in that area. Yeah, that would feel pretty okay. Now, I don't want to play like the Harappans because I think that is going to negate kind of a lot of the changes. I want to really understand the impact on cultures that actually have very limited food generation, right? Like, I'm really expecting this change to impact cultures like the Mycenaeans, like the Assyrians, who are very aggressive early game cultures, but don't have any actual benefits to food. It can make it quite challenging for those cultures to effectively implement their strategies. So we're going to go ahead and settle that location right there. That's a nice little spot, plenty of river around, so we'll have some opportunities to get food. And I think the +1 food per population could be a lot more attractive now, potentially, depending, again, on the exact implementation. Like, if it's the same upkeep for each unit as it is like a population in a city, that is potentially quite a bit better. I'm still going to go for bright ornaments, though, just because I'm kind of used to how that feels in the game. So I'll get a better sense of how the changes have actually been implemented. All right. Oh, nice little food there. Okay, we could go up to the next era if we wanted to, but we've got a little bit to go. We got a lot of really early growth thanks to this river system, but we haven't really gotten any hunting done, and we don't have our curiosity era stars. Would like to have at least one of the two of those. I think my plan is probably to play the Mycenaeans. I'll take a look at the other cultures and see if there's anything else that makes sense in the situation that we're in. I know, unfortunate they were there. I would have moved up onto the high grounds. Guess I can still get there. I don't think deer have zone of control, actually, unlike mammoths. But I am thinking about playing the Mycenaeans simply because I'm very used to them. They're a culture I like playing. I've played them a lot. Let's break out this new one, send them down to get that curiosity, and we'll explore up this way a little bit. Great. So I'll kind of have a better understanding with the Mycenaeans of how the changes to food impacts my game than I think I would with some of the other cultures. I could play something like the Nubians, potentially. Okay, they don't want to move. See if we can get them to come to us. There we go. Attack downhill there. I might take a look at the cultures in just a moment here. And we're just going to follow the river. Got nice and lucky on some of my early food drops and spawn here, which isn't always the case. I'll take it. kind of just patrolling around my core territory now. I really want to understand what the layout of this looks like. And if I can, I'd like to get enough influence to drop another outpost before I go up to the next stage. Now, I can delay going up to the next stage a little bit since exclusive cultures are off, so I could hang out in the Neolithic and get all the era stars if I choose that I want to do that. Should have a nice easy time defeating the steer here. I think we can just end turn. There we go. A little bit easier than the last year. Have a curiosity we can pick up. There's some food up there. There's another deer though, so we'll take care of that first. Doesn't really matter which one we're on. It'll probably come up onto this terrain right here. But we got one high ground attack, so that should be good enough. And now that we're pretty even health, I think we're just going to defend our way through this, since we got through another battle with that tribe on the previous turn. Now we have one industry or one science per pop. I'm still going to stick with the one science per pop. Who knows, maybe the change to food upkeep will change my assessment of that, but we shall see. There are some horses here, actually, which could make for an interesting game with the Assyrians, potentially. But I actually have potentially something in mind that could involve the Assyrians for my next game, so I'm a little less inclined to play them this time around. Let's see here. What else would be good? I mean, I do want this territory pretty early, just because this has the luxury resources in it that I want. Let's go up this way. And I guess we have a little bit better vision down here. Let's just complete our exploration of this area. I mean, the Nubians wouldn't be terrible here either. There is some potential, but I don't know. I'm not feeling them on this one. I like a little bit more obvious, like, industrial terrain with the Nubians. Okay. And I think on this turn we can probably get our last star. We take a look around. Let's see, we have Swift, we definitely want that. I'm going to ignore that food. That's actually not going to get me enough to add any population to this unit, so I'm just going to explore around the map. Whereas here, I have more limited movement. I'll just pick up the food. There's a bear there. They'll probably attack me. If I move here, yep, they'll attack me there too. So I'm actually going to go right here, because that way they'll attack me from the river regardless of what tile they're standing on. Let it attack one more time, and then I will make an attack on it. And then they'll attack me again. And it's nice and easy there. I suppose I could have gone up to the high ground. I wasn't really paying that much attention, because I could just kill it on the river anyway. And if you don't already know, animals do not benefit from high ground. Guess we can move towards the food. One thing with the changes... Okay, here's our legacy trait. I'm going to go for the +1 influence, and just going to, like, try to play a standard game by the kind of nature of the old mechanics of the game. Okay, there's our outpost. And let's take a look at who makes sense. So I did mention the Mycenaeans because I'm very used to them. I'll kind of have a good understanding of the effects of the game with the Mycenaeans. I'm not actually close to anyone, which is a bit of a concern, but should be fine. Assyrians are actually a decent bit better when you have like a good amount of land around you that is unclaimed, because you can start buying the Dunus, and would also, I think, be an interesting one to start with given the changes to food. Since neither of those cultures have food. The Egyptians are also a culture that could potentially be impacted a lot by this, and this, again, would... I mean, this isn't an amazing start for the Egyptians, but there is quite a bit of food kind of naturally on these tiles, so it's not too bad. You know, normally in this situation, I want to pick, like, the Pamanyungan or the Harappans would be very strong, given the amount of rivers around. Assyrians, I mean... I'll just go with the Mycenaeans. Old favorite. I know what they do. I like them a lot. Let's just commit. Alright. We also have Lake Natron down here. +2 food per farmers. A little extra science and stability. Potentially worth claiming. We'll see what the impact of the food upkeep is. Now, the units that are converted into scouts that were previously tribes actually do not have any upkeep. So I don't think I should be paying upkeep on any of them until I actually build a unit. Now over here, we're gonna want to destroy this layer. Let's just combine these units and they can take care of that for me. And we'll just come explore the rest of that terrain with our scout here. Also discovered Victoria Falls. We're gonna get this pickup here and then go over to the sanctuary. What does Victoria Falls do? Reduce population consumption, reduce unit consumption. Okay, so there's an added effect for that from a wonder. It's interesting. So the way the food works as well is that it's actually distributed among all your cities depending on how large the cities are. So the food upkeep, it's not like related to, say, where you built the unit or anything like that. And I think first tech will probably just be calendar, since we have some resources that we're going to want. And then we can go into city defense, perhaps, for Promakoi. Or, we could go for irrigation as well, but it would take a while to build that, and I'm going to prioritize the Cyclopean Fortress first. This does probably make sense. I would add another tile to that location right here, so that'll get me a decent amount of industry. I suppose, actually, here I would add 2 tiles. That would get me... I would start with 4, but I would add 5. Here I start with 8, and I would add 2. So this one actually is a better location. Okay. Bear is attacking me at a place that I don't want to be attacked at. Let's go deal with this bear. There we go. And we'll end our deployment, and they're just going to attack up onto the high ground there, and that'll be an easy win. Just trying to farm up a little bit of gold and any other resource that we can manage to find on the map before people start filling this in with all their outposts. And civics, I do like to start with this one since it's kind of hard to get emblematic districts going at the start of the game, so I'm going to get that extra bonus to the influence output on main plazas. Okay. Now, as far as I know, there aren't, like, changes to civics. Maybe there are some that, like... Actually, I guess maybe they did say there were some civic changes to, like, reflect changes to population food consumption. But they weren't specific in the patch notes about what those changes were. So I have no idea what changes to civics there might be. Okay, a little bit of gold is helpful. We have another deer that we can farm up for a little bit of cash. Let's end that turn there. And we have our army composition. Don't need that quite yet. We will go for the reduced create outpost cost first. I think I'm just going to buy out that pottery workshop since I've gotten a little bit of money from pillaging things and destroying animals. Okay, I want to explore down this way actually and make sure that I understand fully what this territory looks like. I do think the Mycenaeans are probably not the best option here. Maybe the Nubians actually would have been a little bit better. But that's okay. I'm just kind of exploring this patch. We're not necessarily playing to be to have the ideal game, you know? Alright, let's get up onto the high ground here. Okay. Kind of plow through here. There's a mammoth in the way. Guess we can try to farm this mammoth up. We could just camp on the river, but we have a 1-tile high ground approach right here. Okay, they're not going to bite on that. Okay, they're not going to bite on any of these. That's fine. We're not going to defeat a mammoth one-on-one. Now, up here, we've already had one battle. I don't think we want to get involved in another one. We're already low health. And we have a little, like, peninsula out here that we can explore. And up here, I do want to attach this territory relatively quickly, so I'm going to keep a scout positioned in that location, and I'll send another scout back to disband. Alright. Should probably send a few more scouts back to disband into population. Right here, actually, now that that deer is on the river, this will be a little bit easier. Okay. Kind of unexpected there. Maybe it'll come to me. Nope. It has decided it doesn't want to do anything. That's fine. Alright. And here, let's send this unit back. That unit can explore around a bit. This guy... Actually, this one's in a better location to get the outpost down that I want. I don't really want to lose turns on this, so we'll go ahead and plop that. And we'll send this guy to be disbanded into the city. Okay, we're getting blocked by a mammoth there. There's also an opponent up in that direction, which is interesting. I wouldn't have expected someone to like spawn over here or there for to be any substantive land. I was 100% expecting like a closer neighbor over this way. Okay, now we want to save up a little bit for our die. We're going to want that. We're also going to take the +6 faith on main plaza. Yeah, the Assyrians actually would have been a really good choice this game. Just be like, look at all this open land. I could be plopping down so many Dunus this game. Even like the Olmecs would be good, but I didn't want to take a pick that has like any kind of bonus to generating food. And the Olmecs do get that from their emblematic district. Okay, I'm gonna buy that Cyclopean Fortress, and then I think I might start on a farmer's quarter. I think that makes sense. There's no industry inherent on that tile. And in here, we can go ahead and purchase that dye. And that'll increase our production a little bit. Might put people on food. I don't think that makes sense. Yeah, let's keep them on industry for now. We'll pull someone in, disband that. And this one, it might make sense to keep on food so that I continue to grow. Now that we've grabbed that curiosity there, we'll send that guy back to disband as well. Okay. Okay, finally met someone. Took long enough. Go ahead and go after this deer. Let's see if they come to us. Okay, they're just gonna hide. Now, thankfully, you know, we are in a river here, but because we have high ground, we do still have a net combat strength bonus. I think if we retreat here, yeah, they'll come up to us there. So just 5 gold. I know it's not much, but every little bit makes a difference in 4X games, so I do try to farm as much of that as I can. So curious what this is. Who are they? The Carolins? Okay, we're not worried about the Carolins. We're going to pick up irrigation next for the +2 food on river. I probably should have gone for that first over the Promicoy, but I also do want to build some early Promicoy just to see what the effects of the patch are. I also want to attach here, most likely. We'll probably use our next 30 influence for that. And up here, we're just kind of patrolling around looking for curiosity spawns while we wait to accumulate enough influence to start claiming more territory. This is, whoever this is probably my rush target. What a weird location. Kerma. Okay. Interesting. Who is this? Oh, this is my money-based persona. Okay. They want to trade luxury? Sure. The Carolins are far enough away that I'm not really worried about competing with them anytime soon. So trading luxuries is just fine. They want to buy some of my stuff. I am good with that. Alright. So let's disband one more unit here. Get them into Gnosis. And I guess maybe we put someone on science. Maybe we put everyone on science just so we get through irrigation relatively quickly. Also, if we go into army composition, we could grab the reduced unit industry cost, but I think I'd rather just conserve that influence because I have better things to do with influence right now, such as attaching this territory. And that gives us, I mean, that's not a great Cyclopean Fortress, but a little bit of extra industry is always welcome. Like I said, I actually think the Assyrians probably would have been the best pick this game. At least like based on previous patches, right? But wanted to conserve them for a minute because I think I have something that involves them that could be interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this here. So this isn't indicating any food upkeep in this screen here, as far as I can tell. -7 food from unit consumption. Wow, that is a lot. So if let's buy the second one. -12. Or -13, rather. I was looking at population consumption. Wow, that's a lot. That's pretty penalizing. Let's see what happens if we get another one. I know the food cost is like distributed among cities, so early cities are going to struggle to support like a large army. Also going to like have major implications for like farmers. Okay, let's see. Do we have any food luxuries? There's the extra food on farmers, or on farmer quarter. Sage has extra. Salt is a flat bonus. Need a lot to claim these, though. Ideally, I'll be claiming somewhere that could be a second city location. Which, yeah, I guess, like, claiming in this direction would make sense. Yeah, I do think something over here is potentially decent. I have a nice forest there. Let's maybe claim, like, right here. And that could potentially become a second city a little later. Let's take a look at our food. -20 from unit consumption. Okay, we're gonna support a full Promakoi army and just, like, see how much damage we do to ourselves here. Now this is interesting, right? Because on one hand, this does penalize early aggressors a lot. On the other hand, because early aggressors are going to have more cities, it's going to make them more able to sustain population, right? So I'm not sure what the net effect of this is actually going to be. Where was I? Yeah, right. Oh, that's actually a good amount of food right there. Do I value food more now than I do industry? I mean, this is a decent Cyclopean Fortress location, actually, so it might be duplicative with that. So maybe I do prioritize the food. That is something with, like, cultures that already have good... Uh-oh. Oh, that's not great. That already have, like, good ability to generate some industry, is that it can be better to prioritize food over industry when settling your outposts. Okay, let's send a different unit over there and see if we can get that outpost down. Meanwhile, these units are making their way over here, and hopefully that'll be enough to deal with these. I'm going to pull this scouts back and start, like, claiming areas down this way. And they're just, like, patrolling this area over here. It's actually really annoying. And I'm going to take a look and see if they have anything worth buying. I don't know about porcelain, fam. That is not exactly what I'm interested in right now. Go ahead and grab carpentry so we have access to archers if we need them. Gnosis is still finishing up that Cyclopean Fortress, and then we need to work on flood irrigation. Now we have enough food that we can actually slot one person into industry, so we're going to do that. But we really need to, like, get over this way, because the longer I have this army and I'm only on one city, the more damage I'm going to do to my ability to produce all my outputs, right? Because, like, I have very low population right now because I don't have any, or I don't have very many outputs because of that low population, right? I'm totally dependent for science and money on either luxury resources or on, oh, the readout disappeared. Okay. Well, weird time for it to disappear. But I'm totally dependent on population for, like, some of the kind of side outputs, I guess, like the non-main outputs of industry and food. Okay, let's get up here. I don't have any archers here, but I think with Promakoi, that's totally fine. And we're gonna start making attacks. Meanwhile, this scout, actually, I think I can make this attack as well, just because they're in really bad terrain. And I'm just going to zone of control this guy. He actually can't attack me because he's retreating, so we're not worried about him doing any real damage to us. Meanwhile, down here, that seems about as good as anything I'm going to get. Really annoying locations that some of these independents are spawning, but that's okay. And what other territory do we want? We definitely want to try to get the Sage if we can. Here, independent peoples, not worried about that. Army composition, we should grab that +1 combat strength on units. We are going to need that soon. And then as far as tech goes, I guess we're just going bottom. Like, we're not going to get any value out of writing because we have no population. So let's, I guess let's go bronze working because that gets us to organized warfare. Flood irrigation on its way, but is going to take a minute. All right. So we'll keep Zona controlling those units. Let's head the other way with these units, since I'm kind of going to get blocked here. Right here, we actually have multiple high ground benefits. So we can go ahead and try to take these scouts out. And it might be worth it for me to plunk an outpost down in this territory, just so I actually have somewhere to heal my units. So I think I'm going to do that with a little bit of my my influence here. Here I'm going to wait because I want to claim that territory. These units, do I have any scouts over in this direction? I don't. I need to start claiming some of these luxuries over here as well. Okay. This is very interesting. I can already tell I'm slower than I am in a normal game. I'm so intrigued to see how this is actually going to play out. Also, like, pretty far away, so I'm pretty slow to get to these units. I also have some Tasseti archers, which I was not... I was hoping to not see any archers, if I'm being completely honest. This does make, like, defending a lot easier. Just because it's harder to bring a large force to bear early in the game. Let's see what we have here. Okay, under attack, we'll try to retreat. Here, I think I might bring these guys back and maybe disband them. These units are kind of heading over in this direction so we can claim some stuff. Yeah, this is also going to, like, really increase the value of an early second city. Okay, I got Zona controlled there, which is a little bit annoying. Nice little pickup. 20 gold, I'll take it. Yeah, see, now I'm like, I want reinforcements, but I don't have the population to support that. Now, I could attach here as well, and I think I'm going to do that. Thankfully, as the Mycenaeans, I have a good bit of stability to play with because of the Cyclopean fortresses. Yeah, not a great Cyclopean fortress in this territory, which is kind of a bummer. Here, we'll just instant resolve that. There's no way we're winning or doing anything. So we're just not going to worry about it. And up here, I'm hoping... Okay, so they actually moved to a worse position there. And now they're retreating. Curious that they're retreating from me, actually. I think they... In a right position, they could definitely beat me. Not that they were in a good position there, but... Oh, I was sending this guy back, actually. The scout. Let's just have him kind of hang around. I really need to catch this army that they have. Side thought is that this actually increases the value of cavalry as well, because the ability to run down units in the field is going to be pretty valuable. Okay, we want to try to get as many attacks as possible on the first turn. Oh, forest, right. Okay, so I'm very limited in the number of attacks that I can actually make here. We need to try to punch through those warriors as quickly as possible. So I should have moved first. So we're going to take a little bit of extra damage on this guy so that we can try to remove this warrior. And then we're basically just going to focus fire on this guy. This guy could potentially die. I'm going to move him up there though so we can get some rear attacks. And let's just knock the warriors out. I think I'm fine with losing a unit in this scenario, because I am just trying to be very aggressive here. It's not ideal, but I can try to reinforce with the scout just so that I have a full army of units. Okay, so I should be able to mess them up on the next turn here. Okay, unfortunately, the Sage was claimed. What? The Bantu. Okay. Like, why is this a special marker? These guys are aggressive. Interesting. It also kind of makes it harder to defend against aggressive independence. Okay. Let's pull this guy back so I can heal a little bit, because we might be needing them. Unfortunately, they got, like, an important position for me. Alright. Let's try to get up here. Need to knock out those Tassetti. We're just going to claim the flag here for safety. Okay, that was the last unit, apparently. And we are going to need to pull these units back. Maybe we can start pillaging here, because they've taken a lot of damage now. I'm a little... They're a little too damaged to take the city, I think. So, down here, how much would it be? 88? Doesn't seem great. I could set up for a city here. I need 160 to convert. Maybe I just save up for converting this into a city. But now that this has been taken, I'm a little bit less keen on that. So I do think I maybe claim one more position down here. Also a lot of cliff blocking me in quite a few locations. Okay. Let's just disband that scouts. Let's put them on science so we can start catching up. Maybe I just get a couple more units. And I'm going to go for learning. My tech pace is pretty slow right now. Can I get to one turn? No, oh wait, yeah, I can get a pop in one turn. Let's do that. And we'll go for organized warfare. Now, unfortunately, I have to pull all these guys all the way back here to heal. It does give me a chance to potentially reinforce. Now that we have pop, let's swap around some of these. And get some good lumber yards, actually. Let me check my civics. Don't think there's anything I need quite yet. And yeah, we'll drop this right here. We'll try to get that as our second city. Happy to share maps, actually. I have very limited insight down here. Yeah, they have a ton of open space down in that direction. Okay, I might have to give up on the luxury chase over here and just try to secure the ones that are closest to me. The saffron right there will still be a pretty good take if I grab that. I'm going to want another farmer's quarter, I think. And I feel so late on this attack now. I should have set up for this slightly better than I actually did. Take a look at their units. Okay, same kind of composition as before. Also wish I had a better spawn point here, but I do not. I'm just going to start pulling these units one at a time, just in case I need them. And they're just going to idle. I don't need to pay to heal them right now, because now I need reinforcements, because that battle did a little bit too much damage to me. Okay, there's organized warfare. Thankfully we have enough pop that we can support a little bit more military now. We're still healing up down here and working on a pillage. These units are going to head up this way. This would have been a lot easier with the Assyrians. Really wish I had used them, but here I am with the constraints that I put on myself. Don't know why I did that. Yeah, we'll still want to claim this territory. It does have this ambergris in it, but I think it's lower priority than some of the ones down here. And then as far as tech goes, let's make sure that we're picking up riding, and then maybe domestication. We haven't really needed horses, but we potentially will. Get our archers moving up. Part of the thing about this as well is, like, I'm less worried about the potential size of an enemy force, because they also need a whole bunch of food to maintain it. So if they're in a low food position, I don't need to be as concerned about their ability to support an army. I don't know. I'm still like... I don't have a good sense of what the balance on this is like now. Okay. Move these units up. A little slow on my second city here. When I'm playing as the Mycenaeans, I'm used to capturing it, but a little bit... people are a little bit far away for that, unfortunately. We're going to put the Cyclopean Fortress down. We'll go ahead and put the Farmer's Quarter down as well. We'll grab the Pottery Workshop. Let's actually just buy out the Cyclopean Fortress so we get a good amount of industry going off the bat. We're also going to need flood irrigation. These units, they're just going to hang out for a minute while we wait to get an outpost down. And I'm just going to idle those ones for the time being. And I might actually just put these guys on auto-explore. Okay. Waiting another turn here, and then we can hopefully link up with these archers shortly. Unless I'm... Of course, they had a scout to come zone of control me. I feel like they always have a unit position to zone of control you, which gets a little annoying. I'm hopeful I can actually get rid of this scout, though, because I'm tired of it ending my unit's movements. There we go. A little bit of damage. And so we have here, they don't like me, that's totally fine. I'm going to renounce grievances against other players. On aggression pact with Carolyn, sure, why not? And they're blocking me. It's very inconvenient. I feel like I'm getting blocked a lot this game. Okay, so they're actually settling me fairly aggressively, so I might need another army to support over there. I do have another city up, so I'm losing 6 here. I'm losing 26 here. Yeah, because this is a much larger city. Yeah, interesting change. Let's see what their army looks like. That's not that dangerous. I really don't care if they manage to take out that scout. Alright, let's get our outposts down. We'll just do something like that. A lot of industry there. But it'll let us get our saffron, which will increase the amount of food that we're getting. Okay. Tech, we'll pick up wheel, I guess. So we can maybe get the envoys. Here we're going to start... Need to be in a better position in case that other army shows up. Okay, we'll just instant resolve here. We don't really care. I would prefer to fight them in open terrain. So I'm going to pursue that army and see if I can kind of catch them outside the city. And then leadership, probably go for the city cap. There's a lot of space this game, so I think that makes sense, and will increase our influence output a little bit. Oh! I didn't even notice I was getting pillaged. That's going to reduce my stability and some of my outputs a decent bit. So let's maybe... I think 2 should be enough there. Okay. Move. And of course their army has retreated now. I really hate aggressive independence. Instant resolve. Okay, and end the turn. Alright, there they are. Go ahead and make that attack. They'll retreat. Let's get on top of the river here. And this is taking so long to actually get anywhere and attacking them. They feel kind of far away, so my ability to reinforce is rather limited. So I actually get the bonus from the... Oh, they have fortifications, though. But I do get the bonus from being adjacent. We'll just go ahead and focus on this one. Okay, and then we can move here. And they're still going to have the fortified bonus from my Cyclopean Fortress, which is really annoying. But we'll go ahead and take them out. Alright. See if we can find this army. There they are. Gonna position these guys a little bit farther ahead so that we can go after Kerma in a moment. But otherwise, let's initiate this combat. Kind of, little awkward terrain, and they could have positioned a lot better than they did. We'll make these attacks on the Tassetti here. Now we can get flanking on the warriors. That'll just destroy them immediately. And we can actually get all of our units on high ground here. And they're going to play this very conservatively. So we're going to get a little aggressive. They're just trying to conserve units for, you know, because I'll just completely murder all of them. And if we can get some nice adjacency there, actually. But B, you know, they might be aware that they're going to need them for some city defense in a moment. Okay, let's get some adjacency. We'll bring the archers into a good position here, and we're just going to do as much damage as possible. Hit the spearmen, I guess. And then we're just going to defend, actually, because we're going to need these units to have a little bit of health in order to siege that city. Okay, what's up next? I do have my 2 units here. And I guess we'll take the reduced unit cost. I mean, another farmer's quarter would be good, but I really need industry. But I've lost this right now. This is the main problem, is that I really need to get that outpost back online. That is a terrible outpost from the Nubians. What makes the most sense? Like my problem is that my industry is terrible right now, and my best spots are probably down here. Gnosis in general has a bit of an industry problem. I'm probably going to need to attach that territory up there for some decent industry. So let's just get farmers going. Let's put 1 person on science, maybe. And then up here, we're just going to get into a position to siege this city. Actually claim a wonder. There are some interesting options. Let's siege Kerma first. And we're going to position that archer right there. And we're going to... there's only like 1 route to attack, actually. Because we can't go around down here. The battlefield's too small. So we're just going to pour it on the levies right here. We'll make that attack because of my first turn bonus on the Promakoi. Now, if I move my units in, they're going to start taking a beating. But I do need to get in there. So I'm just hoping that they can survive. And then I can pull them out and start cycling in some higher health units. Now I'll start attacking the levies that are actually standing on the flag here. And now that they don't have the fortifications, since I'm actually inside the fortifications, I'll do a lot more damage to them and be a lot safer myself. We'll need 1 more turn in order to take that city. And we're going to want to get an outpost down here again. Probably up here. Just because the Cyclopean Fortress is already going to be exploiting a lot of that industry there, so it's a little duplicative. Let's, and to click writing here. I'm on turn 42. I have 3 population. Not doing great on my era stars. Yeah, kind of, weird playing this. Okay, let's go here. And I'm going to get attacked, so never mind. Classic independent people stuff going on there. They're going to settle a new city, like, literally as soon as I take this one. Alright, then we have 1 more unit left to destroy. And nice and easy there. Alright. That got us a lot of luxury resources, which we really needed. And now they, of course, have a city right here. But we should be able to just march right in, just like this. There we go. Now, wonders. Pyramid, Temple got claimed, which is kind of too bad. Pyramid, still a very good wonder, though. I could think about, like, Stonehenge this game, right? Like, now that the food mechanic has changed, right, it makes food more valuable. So I could go for this. It gets me a decent amount of faith. It gets me that extra percentage food. I mean, let's try it, right? Like, what are we here for if not to explore some of these new things? Now, I won't have quite enough influence to claim that territory now, but that's okay. And here, I think I'll be fine. I have this Cyclopean Fortress. I don't know if it'll actually affect my units or not. It does not. Okay. So we're going to have to do something like this, where we just like back into this corner. Okay, that's actually exactly what I want them to do, is attack me with both of their units. Because here I, am just on even terrain with both of them. That worked out great. Little lucky that they did that, but sometimes you need a little luck. This would have been really nice for the Phoenicians up here. I think it was a kind of a mistake for them to have taken the Nubians. I mean, I can see the logic in the Nubians, though. Alright, so we could end the war, and... okay. Got some more aggressive peoples running around. Still can't claim that outpost again. Here... So we're going to go over our city cap when we end this, because I want to take both of this stuff. I wanted to grab that, because it could give me like a free unit or something that's really valuable. I think we just ask for everything. Yeah. And we're going to be over the city cap, but only by 1. This is not a very good city, in my opinion, so I am going to pillage it. I am going to work on the Cyclopean Fortress, because we'll be able to attach, right? And then I'll already have a pre-built Cyclopean Fortress. And we could go for like the forge. We could go for animal barns. Plus 12 food actually doesn't feel too bad. I am going to move a farmer off. I'll be on to science. Let's take a look at our Aerostar progression here. Kind of on the bottom right now. Still need to kill 2 more units as well, so we're going to need to find a way to do that. Maybe we can manage to pick off these 2 that are trying to wander home. There's also this outpost going up right here. Okay. Oh, wow. We can get some stellar Cyclopean fortresses in here. That won't be quite right, because that is double counting a couple items there. I think that position will actually be a little bit better. Yeah, that one seems better as well, because, right, this is 21. This is also 21, but it's a lot farther forward. I need to get my holy sites going as well. And then, yep, either of those work. Oh, those are actually different territories. I think one right here. And then maybe like one up here. Something like that. There's no way we get all of those done before the end of the era. So what I'm going to do is cycle production between them so that they're also in the production queue come the start of the medieval, because those are some really valuable districts. Actually, I don't quite need to pillage that yet. I'm only taking a pretty minor penalty. Okay. So I'm going to leave it up for now and let it produce that Cyclopean Fortress, and that way it'll be available for later. I guess I'll take Fanatical. I don't care if I lose 1 population all that much. And then tech, we have fishing, and then sailing, and I think that's the last tech. Yeah, we really need to find a way to kill 2 more units. We would also like to get at least 1 of the money stars. Let's actually pull people off science. We don't really need them there. And I would like to get Stonehenge going, but my industry is still a little bit low for the time being. Maybe I just grab the obelisk for now. Don't want to lose any real outputs. Could get a little bit of extra faith putting it right here. Also get, like, a little bit next to that Cyclopean Fortress. What's this recommend right now? Right there? Or up here? Yeah, let's go ahead and put the obelisk right there just for a little bit of adjacency. And we're going to wait a turn because we want the religious rights to reduce religious district cost. 19. We'll put in obelisk, which will be a little bit cheaper now. Over here, we're going to keep cycling the Cyclopean fortresses. And maybe we pay to heal these units, and we can, like, get some freebie kills from this city right here. Maybe we can just kill some of the defenders. Now, we do have the first tenant, so this is not realistic. Be Virtuous as water would be pretty good for my stability this game. I can get an insane amount of stability from the rivers, and then abstain from intoxicants is also pretty good. I do have a decent amount of forest and woodlands this game, so that would also potentially be an option. Abstain is generally considered the best. Ugh, we really need to get rid of this. This is a pretty important territory for the Iolcos here. Let me buy that flood irrigation. Let's do something like that, and maybe I can get a harbor here first, and then we can maybe attach that next turn. I'm debating between Be Virtuous and Abstain. I think both would be really strong for me this game. Really wish I could get the Builder stars as well. Did I just work on, or help work on Obelisk? And get it down to 2 turns? I think we can do that. What's my industry look like? Or my stability? I have a surplus there. It won't really help all that much with stability here. I mean, I guess here I'll start getting some stability because of the Cyclopean Fortress. It's really hard to say no to that stability given, like, how much trouble you can have with it later in the game. I'm gonna take Be Virtuous. It's hard to say no when there's this much river in your cities. Let's take a look at my food costs. Minus 25 from there. Minus 9 from there. Minus 12 from there. Okay. Interesting that I, like, say I can't select this unit and see a food cost that's associated. I think I understand why, because, you know, food is calculated in the cities, right? It's not necessarily that, like, there isn't, like, a flat cost, I don't think, for units. I think it probably scales up with the number of units that you have. Ah, come on. Don't tell me you're gonna get blocked. Okay. There's enough to go after them here. And this will give me the extra kills that I need in order to get my 3 Era Stars. Go ahead and get these warriors. It is uphill, but not an issue for some Promoquai. There we go, and there's our 3 Militarist Stars, so I feel a little bit better about this era now. Again, would be great to get those Builder Stars. And we're not, like, competing for cultures this game, so I feel a little bit better about waiting for things. Religious tolerance, don't really care about that. Do we want to leave this independence alive? I would like this one to disappear. But this one I would be fine with if it stays. I don't have enough influence, though. This is not, like, a super important territory for me, so there's a part of me that wants to leave it. And I don't need to get any more stars here. Let's leave it for now. I want to pillage the city just because it's not very good. And I'm actually going to see if I do that. And let's attach here. We can get another Cyclopean Fortress that is half decent. Okay, well, I'm trying to get this obelisk in 1 turn. There we go. So we're going to make use of this to the extent that we can to do some other things. Let's purchase out that Cyclopean Fortress, and then we are going to pillage that. Up here, we're going to make sure that this player has no routes back into the game and keep pillaging their tiles as they come down, their territories. And over here, let's maybe grab this territory down here for the obsidian and the gemstones. Okay. And then Gnosis, take a look at my religion here. We're doing fine. This area will convert eventually because it's becoming my state religion, so there's going to be some pressure there. And maybe we just start, like, working on Stonehenge. Get 42 food and 58 stability. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Let's go for it. It's going to take a while to build, though, because my industry is still relatively low since I lost this attachment. We're going to end a turn here. I'm going to attach, and that'll get us a little bit of extra industry. And do we need to buy that Cyclopean Fortress? Probably not. Let's take a look at progress on all of these. Okay, we have one more we need to put some industry into, I think. Okay, that's pillage, so we're all good there. Maybe we can join in down here and speed that pillage up a little bit. And we'll go ahead and end the turn. Okay, so working on Stonehenge. We have no more text, so I think we're at the point where we need to go up to the next era. I do want to claim this, I think, before I select my religious tolerance civic. We'll go ahead and put that down there. Let's join up with my scouts, and we'll continue that pillage. We'll get it in 3 turns now. And here, don't really need to do anything with them. Let's pull them back in this direction. So this player, probably my next target, the Achemenids. Okay, they'll be a tough target. And the Huns, kind of a funny choice. Now, the Carolins have done something very odd where they've split up as well, which would make them very vulnerable. Actually, I should have been looking at trade, because I don't currently have any trade routes. Man, they really want to charge me for some of these. Yeah, I'll probably go after the Achemenids next. Now, my natural inclination right now, of course, is to also play the Achemenids, since they're available. I'm going to resist that urge, because I feel like that's a little bit too predictable. I'm kind of curious if there's, like, for instance, with the Romans... no, right, because the legacy trait changed. I think they used to have, like, reduced unit upkeep or something like that. Let's see, who would make sense? I mean, it'd be interesting now to play, like, the Celts, for instance, to see if that actually makes, like, a really substantial difference, if you want to maintain a larger number of armies. It's not a culture that I would normally play, and it does go kind of nicely with Stonehenge. 3 food on farmers. Montes, I mean, they're pretty good as well. I'd say they're better than the Celts in most situations. I could also play the Axumites, which would be kind of nice. I do love me some good Axumites. Because my main consideration, though, right now, right, is, like, I want to get a sense of how the food cost is going to affect the rest of the game. And I can do that either by, like, playing into the food, right, and selecting something that gives me a lot of food, or by kind of ignoring food for a while and seeing if I'm able to do the things that I could do before, you know? So I'm kind of inclined to go for something that doesn't actually give me any benefits to food. So I kind of want to play, like, the Axumites, just because I really enjoy them. Just, like, sticking to some of the more enjoyable cultures. The Romans could also be kind of fun, but I think that stability is perhaps a little bit redundant. The Maya, of course, could give me some really nice industrial outputs. I don't really like the Morians all that much, personally. The Han even could be an option because of the paper mill. I'm going to give myself a quick little save here, just in case I change my mind. But I am kind of feeling the Axumites today. I feel like that combines nicely with my Stonehenge pick. Let's buy that Cyclopean Fortress, I think, and we can pour a little bit more production into Stonehenge. And down here, we're pillaging. Irma. Yeah. Actually, let me take a look at my era stars. Is there anything I'm close to? Oh, I only need one more district. Is there anything that I can just influence purchase? Like a harbor? Yeah. There we go. There's my builder star. I'm glad I checked that. Oh, I could get the Aesthete star in one more turn, actually. So yeah, I'm going to wait one more turn, because that extra fame is nice. I am, like, losing science right now, but it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Not a bad era, all things considered. I was pretty slow to get started on my aggression against this player because they were so far away from me, primarily. And because, like, food limitations, so I couldn't really reinforce for a while. Really interesting implications for early aggression. So let's go ahead and pick up the Axumites here, since I have committed to that. And down here, I don't think they need to do anything. I guess we probably want to claim some of these territories up here as well. Let's go ahead and send the scout up that way. And we will end the turn and head into the classical era. So, yep, check in there. All those Cyclopean fortresses look good. Let's just slot everyone onto industry, and we'll start building some stuff soon. And then Gnosis, I'm inclined to let Stonehenge finish just because of the obscene amount of food that I can get there. And then we can start layering in some of these great obelisks. Now, actually, if I could get some of these obelisks adjacent to each other. So, like, this is... I mean, I do lose a little bit from the river here, but, like, these two could be adjacent. And that increases their outputs a little bit. These are kind of funny locations to suggest, but losing 2 food is really not that big of a deal. Go ahead and plop that in. And I don't think I have anything else I need to worry about the queue for right now. I suppose in here, yeah, right there makes sense, right adjacent to the harbor, and then not taking up river slots is perfectly good with me. All right. And these units, we're going to start heading over this way. Okay, I don't have any crises with them right now. I am just going to, let's claim like right there, has a little bit more industry there. But I am probably going to be going after the Achaemenids this era. And our first tech is going to be hydrology, just because of the amount of river that we have available. So with that, I think we're going to call an end to this. I suppose we could actually do this power investor, might be kind of nice. Little extra money never hurt. I think it's the same for all resources, so we'll just invest in whatever. But yeah, that'll bring this era to an end. I'm curious to see how the rest of this plays out. I could like really feel the impact at the start of the game. I'm not feeling as much impact right now that I have more cities. I feel like I'm on a good path at the moment in terms of population growth and outputs. But I'm curious, like, how that'll change as I start to build more units or as I upgrade units, right? Like, does a Shodalai have the same food upkeep as a Promakoi? I don't actually know the answer to that. And similarly, I'm curious how this is going to affect the AI as well, right? Like, they obviously have much worse terrain than I do in terms of generating food, right? Like, if you look at some of these, there's not much in the way of river. It's going to make like territory like this substantially worse in the early game in particular. Whereas the former Bantu, now the Achaemenids over here, have much better food generation capabilities. So I'll be interested to like play a game where I don't get like this really nice river system. I just kind of got lucky with this, and just kind of see how it plays out over the course of the game. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and playing this one along with me. We're going to continue to play through the rest of this game just to feel out how this food change affects the rest of the eras in Humankind. Obviously, we've seen a few impacts already, and I'm excited to see what other implications it might have. So cheers, and see you soon.